Welcome back, U.S. history students. Today we're going to be continuing on our Unit 1 assessment. You guys started the brainstorming process for this on Tuesday, and then today we are going to be focusing on writing that Part 2 short essay for the U.S. Regents, okay? So before we look at the document that you're going to be actually working on, I just want to go over some tips. And these were things that I noticed from the brainstorming document, but also things that I've noticed from the years of teaching students this writing style. So tip number one, it's really the key to getting credit for your written responses, answering the task. I cannot stress enough how important answering the task is. It's the question that they're requiring you to respond to, and if you don't answer it, you're not going to get credit. It's that simple. Okay, so we need to always answer tasks. Something else that I want to stress is that we should be summarizing and citing document information. We should not be quoting the documents when we are supporting our points. Something that we've seen in a lot of the classwork so far is that students are dropping humongous quotes into their responses and then moving on. What we want to transition to is summarize that information in your own words, cite the document at the end, and then analyze what that document is saying. What is that telling you? How does it relate to the task? Okay, so remember, document information should be used to support answering the task. If it doesn't help you support answering the task, we want to leave it out. Another thing that really should help you out is this inclusion of topic sentences for both paragraphs, okay? The topic sentences can be an introduction of the main idea or theme that connects the documents. It can be a restating of what the task is asking you to do, but a topic sentence is how we get rolling before we actually kind of dig into the details and response for the task. We also want to include outside information. Okay, once again, we talked about this in class on Tuesday. Outside information doesn't have to be overly specific. If you remember a name, a date, or a specific event, that is fine, but you can also make connections. Okay, connecting ideas, connecting regions, connecting information from global history. We just want to look for a connection that comes from outside of the documents. All right, I can't stress this enough. Number 5, we want to loop all details back to the task. Okay, so for example, if in paragraph 1, if you're talking about historical circumstances and you're talking about information from document 1, you want to clearly explain how that historical circumstance impacts the document. Okay, we want to always loop back to the task. Also, number 6, use the planning doc to help you with writing. So that planning document we did on Tuesday, you should pull up and use that as a resource to help you with the writing. That's why we did it. Okay, that's why we do those brainstorming planning activities. So let's look at the question itself, and this should look similar to what we saw on Tuesday because it's the same question, okay? So remember, the task is our most important aspect, and we want to structure it so bullet 1 is going to be paragraph 1, bullet 2 is going to be paragraph 2. So bullet 1 is asking you to describe the historical context surrounding these documents. And we want to focus on those W's when we're doing historical context to start. Okay, so we're using the W's, we're introducing how are these documents related, and how do the historical time period, the people, the regions connect between these two documents, and we're going to do that through the W's. All right, bullet number 2, we're explaining the relationship between the documents, okay? And something that I want to stress that students struggled with on the planning doc was that you're choosing one of these lenses to focus on, okay? And what some students did is they just didn't choose relationship lens when I asked you to try to think about, well, does cause and effect, similar or different, or turning point best fit this document pair? So if you write paragraph 2 without choosing one of those lenses, you are not answering the task. Okay, so this is where we need to be very specific in our response to make sure we are doing what the task is asking us. Okay, so what I've given you guys is a checklist for each paragraph. Okay, so paragraph 1, you can see you're going to be responding to task bullet 1. Okay, and then this is a checklist for what you should be including in your response. Okay, remember historical circumstance, we're targeting the W questions. We've got where, when, who, what, why. Then we're trying for some outside information. Something that's not on here that I do want to stress is start off with a topic sentence. Okay, we want to include topic sentence to introduce the reader to the topic we are addressing, these documents are addressing, and then we can move on into hitting the requirements here. Similar to what you saw for the first paragraph, the second paragraph also includes a checklist. Okay, remember, it's responding to task bullet 2, which is focusing on the relationship lens. Okay, so the first thing this checklist is having you do is identify, well, which lens are you going to be focusing on? Are you going to do cause and effect? Are you going to do turning point? Are you going to do similar or different? Okay, you are only picking one. When you pick that one, though, you want to continually introduce it and support it in your response. So as I said, you always want to loop back to the task. Well, if I choose cause and effect, in the second paragraph, I want to continually explain how these documents show a cause and effect relationship. It should be continually shown to the reader how this relationship is playing out. All right? So you're going to be picking your lens, then you will be explaining and identifying that relationship. Then you want to connect the ideas between document 1 and document 2. And this is where you want to bring in document information. Okay, we also want to try to include some relevant outside information, something that connects to the documents that is from your own knowledge from what we have learned previously. Okay, so this is a 2-paragraph response. You have a checklist. It should be very clear, the grading criteria for it. As always, if you need support, if you need some help, I will be on Zoom during all class periods for office hours support. You can also shoot me a message in the comments feature of Google Documents. Hope everyone is doing well, and I will talk with you soon.